Sermon on the Mount is the largest collection of teachings of Jesus, all about his good news that God's heavenly kingdom has touched down here on earth.
The teachings are divided into 3 parts.
Yeah. Okay, so should we wait till the air fryer is done, or just pause it when the air fryer and just recap when you have to go pause and recap?
Of the teachings of Jesus, all about his good news that God's heavenly kingdom has touched down here on earth.
The teachings are divided into 3 parts: an introduction, a main body, and a conclusion.
We'll start with the introduction, where Jesus addresses the identity of his followers. And this section has 3 parts.
Right. First come 9 announcements that are often called the Beatitudes, and they're all about who is experiencing the good life. We'll look at the first set of 3, which claim that God's heavenly kingdom is coming to the least likely people. It begins like this.
Blessed are the poor in spirit.
So that word blessed is makarios. It's a word used to describe someone that you think is experiencing blessing, that is, God's favor and abundance.
Look over there, that person's living the good life.
Exactly. To see this point clearly, we could suggest the translation.
How good is life for the poor in spirit? So, what does that mean to be poor in spirit?
Well, in the Bible, a person's spirit is their life breath, their inner vitality. So if your inner spirit is poor, then you are lacking energy and power.
Like feeling downcast or discouraged?
Yes, but this phrase also can be used to describe those lacking external power, like those on the margins of a society.
Now, being powerless doesn't seem like the good life.
And that's the surprise that Jesus is going for here in this first line. And then the blessing that God has in store for them, that's in the second line.
Because theirs is the kingdom of the skies. Okay, but what's the kingdom of the skies?
Well, the kingdom of the skies is God's heavenly reality, where everything is done according to God's good will. And that's what Jesus is bringing here to the land for people to experience now. Jesus is going first to the poor and the powerless, inviting them into God's kingdom. And so this is the blessing. Instead of being last, Jesus offers God's kingdom to them first.
Cool. The next one is, how good is life for those who grieve, because they will be comforted.
People lacking power usually have to face a lot of hardship, loss, and grief. But Jesus announces that a time of comfort is coming.
How good is life for the unimportant, because they will inherit the land.
That word unimportant is the Greek word kraus, which is often translated the meek. But this isn't just about being humble. This word also refers to people who have no influence in society, those who are looked down on and discarded.
And Jesus says that they will inherit the land?
Yes. He's quoting from Psalm 37, a poem about God's plan to elevate the poor and oppressed to inherit the land, while those who do evil lose everything. This recalls the beginning of the Bible story, where God gives the land to all humanity, to oversee it on God's behalf, not just some people, but everyone.
So the first 3 announcements are about God's kingdom coming to the powerless, the grieving, and the unimportant.
And in the next 3 sayings, Jesus describes the character of those who will be most at home in God's kingdom.
How good is life for those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, because they will be satisfied.
Righteousness, or in Greek, dikaiosune, means living in right relationship with God and others, treating people with fairness and justice. So it's helpful to render this word as right relationships.
Now, if I'm hungry and thirsty for it, that means there's a desire there that hasn't been met.
Right. So apparently the good life includes being unsatisfied with the disorder in our world and the broken relationships between people.
Yeah, like a holy discontent, a longing to see relationships made right all over. And those who long for this will find it?
Well, when people treat each other the way Jesus taught, it leads to healthy, satisfying relationships where things are made right. And that's what God's kingdom is all about.
How good is life for those who show mercy, because they will be shown mercy.
Mercy is a step beyond doing what is simply right or fair. Mercy is generosity. It is extravagant kindness.
All right, since we paused, let's. All right. So let's recap. So first is starts with blessed are the. Yep, the unimportant, which is crazy. Like this is a kingdom. This is a kingdom narrative, a kingdom story. You think when we're doing a kingdom story, who are the people in the kingdom story who are usually elevated? The people who are kings. A kingdom story, people are king. People with wealth, influence, the influencers. But here, King Jesus is like actually the people who are looked down upon. Who are they? Who are they? Yeah, the poor. They're people who, like society, they just don't belong. You know, I think on, you know, when we do the New Colors ministry at our community, it's the people with who are on the spectrum, and so they don't fit into the usual gathering. And so we have and always are working on it, tweaking it so that they always feel welcome. But we have a ministry, like it's like always longing for. Because of their poor in spirit, do you think that they're generally welcome in every gathering? So it's longing for them to be welcome, and that's what who else also longs for the weak to be welcome? Jesus. And poor people long too, yeah, but they just don't have the power to do it. So that's good. And we who hunger and thirst for right relationship with the poor in spirit, we will be satisfied by stepping into relationship with people who are not usually brought. We get satisfied. We are part of the good life. All right.
Because they will be shown mercy.
Mercy is a step beyond doing what is simply right or fair. Mercy is generosity. It is extravagant kindness that goes beyond what is required. And the degree to which we show mercy is connected to how much mercy we'll receive.
How good is life for the pure in heart? Because they will see God.
Here, Jesus adopts a phrase from his Bible in Psalm 24, where only the pure of heart can ascend the mountain of the Lord.
You go with him getting it? All right. Yeah. good is life for the pure of heart because they'll see God. So, we'll just go back a bit since we have pizza. All right.
A longing to see relationships made right all over. And those who long for this will find it.
Well, when people treat each other the way Jesus taught, it leads to healthy, satisfying relationships where things are made right. And that's what God's kingdom is all about.
How good is life for those who show mercy, because they will be shown mercy.
Mercy is a step beyond doing what is simply right or fair. Mercy is generosity. It is extravagant kindness that goes beyond what is required. And the degree to which we show mercy is connected to how much mercy we'll receive.
How good is life for the pure in heart, because they will see God.
Here, Jesus adopts a phrase from his Bible in Psalm 24, where only the pure of heart can ascend the mountain of the Lord and stand in his holy place.
Okay, but what does that mean to be pure of heart?
Well, in the Bible, it means living from pure motives. You can be nice to people, but still have contempt for them. You can be devoted to God, but do it for public praise. So being pure of heart is about having your desires align with God's desires in all of your actions.
I mean, this is a high calling. Right relationships, a life of mercy, and pure motives.
But for Jesus, this is what humans are made for, to desire what is good and beautiful and just, and above all, to desire God, who alone can satisfy our deepest longings. The last three announcements are about the difficult path ahead for those who choose to follow Jesus and enter into God's kingdom.
How good is life for the peacemakers, because they will be called children of God.
When God's kingdom arrives in full one day, it will bring peace between all people. And so anyone entering God's kingdom now is called to work as a peacemaker. That means entering into conflicts and working creatively to open up a just and generous path forward for others. And that may sound nice, but it can be dangerous, as Jesus goes on to say.
How good is life for those who have been persecuted on account of doing what is right, because theirs is the kingdom of the skies.
Very often, wading into conflicts and pursuing peace and reconciliation will mean pushing against the status quo. And that'll likely result in resistance, getting fired at from all sides. But if this peacemaking reflects the loving way of Jesus and is done for his reputation, it's worth it.
How good is life for you when people insult you and persecute and spread evil lies against you on account of me? Celebrate and shout for joy, because your reward is great in the skies, for this is how they persecuted the prophets before you.
Be prepared to be misunderstood, Jesus says. You could be made fun of, treated unfairly, or labeled.
And Jesus says that's not only worth it, it's actually a cause for celebration.
Right. Jesus says, look to Israel's past prophets as an example. When you are misunderstood for peacemaking, you stand in a long line of God's people who spoke up for righteousness, justice, and mercy. It is both the cost and the reward for bearing witness to God's kingdom. Next, Jesus describes his followers with a new image, comparing them to salt. Here's how he puts it.
You are the salt of the land. So why is Jesus calling his followers salt?
In the ancient world, salt had an important function: to preserve food and make it last a really long time. This is why, in the Hebrew Bible, salt is associated with God's long-lasting covenant promises to Israel.
Right, so in that covenant, God chose Israel from among the nations to be his partners. He would bless them so that they could together spread life to the world around them.
Right. And just like salt preserves food, the role of God's partners is to preserve the life of creation by preserving the covenant. And this partnership is a choice, which is why Jesus says,
but if the salt becomes unsalty, with what can it be made salty again? It's useful for nothing, except to be thrown out and stepped on by humans.
According to Israel's prophets, Israel violated their covenant with God. That is, they became unsalty. So God allowed enemy nations to conquer and exile them from their land and stomp all over them. But here, Jesus is announcing something bold to his followers. God is renewing his salty crew within Israel. Through Jesus, they can experience God's covenant blessings and recover Israel's calling to preserve the life of the world. Jesus then concludes with one final image, which goes like this.
You are the light of the world. A city that is set up on a mountain isn't able to be hidden.
Jesus is taking this image from the Hebrew prophet Isaiah, who said that one day God's heavenly reign will touch down on earth in Jerusalem high on a hill. This is a heavenly city, and its light will be like the dawn of a new creation.
So Jesus takes an ancient promise about Jerusalem and applies it to himself and his followers. They are the light, they are the city.
Exactly. God is beginning his new city, the new creation, right here, right now.
And in this city, the whole world gets to experience the goodness of God.
Right, which is what he says next.
And they don't light a candle and place it under a basket. Rather, upon a candlestand, and it will shine on everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before people, so that they can see your good works, and so they can give honor to your Father who is in the skies. So what does Jesus mean by good works?
Well, elsewhere, Jesus and his apostles describe good works as acts of service for people in need and generosity to the poor. And this links back to the 9 announcements, where Jesus describes the character of those who are most at home in God's kingdom. They hunger for right relationships, and they work for peace in the world. And as they do so, they bring more and more of the light of God's kingdom from heaven down to earth.
Our mission at Bible Project is
All right. So a lot was said. What will you say is the focus on this piece? You know, we learn about. So what do you think? What do you think is the point of this piece? Waiting for Jason. He's taking a big mouthful. What do you think is the piece of what was said? Like what kind of stuff? Might be nice. Can you like pause eating? We're discussing, my friend. So why be nice? Is that it? So you just get something out of it? Then why be nice? It's fine. Pause. Pause the eating. Sure. I have more questions, but go and get your drink. Be nice because you have to be nice. Pause. So, being nice. Where does it start? How do you define the person to be nice to? Because if you're just nice to your friends, if you're just nice to your influencing friends, if you're just nice to the rich people, the unimportant? And what are they calling here? The unimportant. Oh, it's called poor in spirit. There you go. Well, it's just like blessed are the poor in spirit. So it's reversing the value. Here, you watch all your influencers on YouTube. Like, it's flipping. It's changing what we find as value. It's reorienting our hearts, our minds, our desires. Then go, how do the people I see around me, especially the ones who don't look like they belong, who don't have food, really, who are or the people who usually society goes, we're gonna step away, you're dangerous. You know, prisoners, people in hospital, actually old people. Like people, especially people in retirement homes. Actually, a lot of people generally feel lonely. But then why do we be nice? Because our Heavenly Father. That's the motivation, is because our Heavenly Father is good. What did he desire at the very beginning of Genesis? To have right relationships, right. Yeah. Yeah, so it starts way harkens back to Genesis. It starts out of the abundance that Jesus, that Yahweh. It starts from the abundance that Jesus has, Yahweh in Eden has revealed. Because we're going back to the Eden purpose. It's like we're choosing Eden. Yes, choosing Eden. Our friends. So, do we be nice for nice sake?
No.
We be nice because we become like our Heavenly Father. That means we have to do things out of pure motives, where we study Him, we meditate on Him, we study how He operates. You know how He operates? You know how we can know to operate? We join fellow believers at church, a youth group, who also are striving. Because our hearts, do you think our hearts just naturally do what's good? No. Our hearts are crooked. We need to reorient it. We need to call people to life. And that's what this is always. This is always a calling to life. All right, friends, we can start. Oh.
Hey, Corey.
Hello.
How are y'all today?
Doing pretty good.
I'm doing all right.
Are we
Back.
going to
You're kind of quiet on the mic, so 1 sec. Let me adjust the volume.
I mean, I could just do it on my end. Is that better?
A little, yeah.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. That's interesting. I wonder why today I'm a little quieter than the rest of the days.
I don't know. You're using your tired voice, so.
Yeah. Are you guys? Would you guys like to do something together, or are we just here to hang out on chat?
Do you recall that you had expressed an interest in doing stuff today?
Yeah, I did. Now it's today, and my brain is. My brain's pretty.
Day has come, and then it was like, yeah.
My brain's pretty mushy today. I didn't get good sleep. That happens when sometimes.
Understandable.
Sometimes that happens when you don't sleep in your own bed.
Yeah. As for what to do, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try sleeping on the floor, Corey.
That I can't do. And it's like right now, like after this allotment, we got to go get detergent. So I don't want to do anything to tie me up, really. At the very moment. Later, I think I'll be down for doing something. Just right now, I'm not. Sorry. Not feeling it.
Right. Understandable.
But I do.
In that
Indeed.
case, I guess we can just hang out. And I suppose I will continue attempting to play off-brand Mega Man.
So it's a roguelike, right? So do you like just
Yeah.
learn?
Hmm?
I'm guessing you just learn you just get stuff on the way kind of thing? Like any
Sort of. So, you know, there's, I suppose, 3 categories of power-ups you can find. Yeah, abilities, which are what you get from defeating the area boss of each zone. Yeah, and those are pretty much akin to the Mega Man powers you would get. They cost energy to use. You know, they're thematically appropriate to whatever boss you just defeated, and they're actives. Core powers, which you can only equip so much of at a time. Are generally supposed to be pretty impactful as to the way your character functions. So, like, Dracopin's Pride, which gives me lifesteal, it is a body core. Ojak's Guide makes it so that while I'm dashing, I can't be damaged from the front. Stage Beam would make it so that my charge attack is replaced with one of the stolen powers that I have. Yeah, stuff like that. And augments are kind of your generic thing you would find in a typical roguelike sort of effects. Just plus stat, improved enemy drop rates, plus stat, more core points, stuff like that.
And so I'm guessing when you died, you start from the very beginning? Like any
Yeah, you start from World 1.
Okay.
And the order of the worlds is randomized each time, though it is the same with 8 worlds each time. The later a world appears, the more complex its layouts are, and the more troublesome its enemies, both in quantity and move patterns.
So Broheim got into Shadow of Mordor.
Alright.
And so he convinced me to get back into it. Such a good game.
It is. At least so I've heard. I suppose I haven't actually gotten around to playing it. I like that version. Got good damage too. It's a wall piercing attack. Yup, this will come in handy. Maybe. Actually, you know what? This might finally be a version of this that I actually want to use as a replacement for my shot. Yeah.
Grublik.
This will do. This will do nicely.
Nicely.
Ah.
Sign of fire on Mount Doom for generations.
I watched Gilgalad die on the slopes of Oladruin, burned to death by the heat of Sauron.
Down there! I thought I smelled that flesh. Want him? I see it. One-on-one. There he is. Yo. He's up there. Close that talk.
Make a pass will increase jump height. What do I draw for it? I'll take a massively increased jump height that I can switch to if the platforming calls for it.
You hear about them outcasts? I don't like the sound of that. swine! Are you laughing at Longtooth? Oi, are you snickering? Get to the bridge!
You have to forget that we can actually turn around amidst leech slam.
Idiots! Get to the bridge! Watch it! He'll use you as a shield! Chop him to bits! Feel the ground!
Yeah. That's a lot, yeah.
Gosh dang it, I need more room for core power. Got a lot of good cores, but no points. Here, for the moment, let's switch back
You're
to
stuck
now.
with quality, not quantity.
Thing is, that I have, gosh dang it, found a whole lot of good cores that I want to use. I don't have the points to use them.
I wonder how the hell...
A citadel from the ancient world.
Didn't realize you could wedge yourself into
Secrets
those.
only by my
Those ones there. Yes, core extender.
Nice.
That means I can now equip all these at the same time. Come on. Not even labeled.
Forfeit your mind.
Wait, you can destroy those?
finally am free.
Chapter 4. Hmm.
Nani here Gelar Mordor.
There's a few lasers being thrown around.
Why is social age?
We gotta get more stuff to the forge. You know what happens if the quartermaster's grindstone starts turning? Yep, it's distracted with the grog, and then we get no new weapons. I ain't afraid of no category. Next one I see, I'm gonna learn to ride it. You should be afraid of them. Just one of them could tear you up. What? The archers are running drills today.
Option summons this abomination. Ah, well, now there's 4.
Hello, Ethan. Corey has gotten lost in the Lord of the Rings areas.
Excellent. Yeah, the worst things to get lost in. Let's see. Oh, heck no. Less damaging charge attacks? Why would I want that?
Oh yeah. Hmm. I forgot this game
Sorry.
had a couple referential enemies.
Which game?
Last Epoch.
Ah.
There's a teleporting bear, which is literally called like Ja-ith bear, which I think I mentioned a bit first to someone, but that's literally the rune word in Diablo 2 for like teleport or whatever.
I see. I can appreciate that.
Hi there, little cat. What are you up to, Ethan?
I see the mic still muted. Oh, that's so funny. That's just muted from other times. Hey, Ethan. Oh, I see. There's arrows near me. Oh, come on.
What y'all playing today?
Today I am playing 30XX.
I'm playing Shadow of Mordor.
Yes. And since we have the whole crew here, I suppose we could do Path of Exile if we so wished.
Maybe.
I think he's going to need a you're going to need a download,
I'd have
right?
to download it on my laptop.
Ah,
Yeah, just chilling at home today.
I warned.
Chilling at
I
home's
wonder
a
if
good
I
way
even
to
have
chill.
space.
Yeah, I warned him that.
Indeed.
I warned him that my place is filled with lots of
Did
sounds.
some archery.
I mean, Path of Exile I'd even be worth his. I've played it on
I
a hard drive
do
before.
have space. We'll just see how long it takes.
I will say I have played it on a hard drive before. It isn't terrible. The load times do get annoying at the end game, but we're not at the end game, so it should be fine, right? Right?
What if I told you that I actually have space on the internal?
Do you think you
like-
do?
No, I actually do. I deleted a whole bunch of games from my computer.
Oh wow. I
Yeah,
was
now
gonna
I,
say
now I just
you
have
think
like
you do, and then I was
3,
gonna
but
tell
they're
you
all
about
large.
Ah, so you had the spontaneous Call of Duty on there, taking up literally everything by itself.
Perhaps. Okay, let's see how this is downloading.
Your number of
Yeah, I think
fireballs.
I'm being more tanky with this, because if I am not in the fray, I get very pained very quickly.
Which build?
Yeah. So one of the changes that they did recently, like the only change that I actually noticed, is they made it so you can regenerate mana while channeling stuff in this game now. Previously, it would prevent it.
Which means
But
continuous channeling is now possible.
yeah. And so the Crusader has a skill called Warpath, which is just you hold the button, you spin. So back to the classic Whirlwind Barbarian-esque sort of play, but with holy involved. So pretty much just Whirlwind. But how I have it is, I gain increased damage as long as, depending on how much health I have,
to destroy the world.
Okay.
remain percentage-wise.
Hmm.
And I've noticed when I get hit, I lose 2/3 of my health at a time.
Man.
You might want to work on that.
I thankfully have some healing mechanic, like one of my swords is gain health on hit. It's my only source of consistent healing at this point, and it's a little worrisome.
What game's this?
That's Epoch.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard of CPOC.
I think you have, because Jason's played it before.
Hmm.
In any case, it's an ARPG
Yeah.
akin to Path of Exile or Diablo.
People say it's a good middle ground between the two in terms of build complexity. Or
Okay.
compared to like Diablo 3 and XL, at least. Build complexity.
Yeah, I'll happily take
Okay,
it.
I'm
And
sending
Oracle
some
Collector.
photos from my archery excursion this morning to the Great Friday chat, so you guys can take a look.
Alright, scrap dealer. Yeah, we're laying up. I think I'm gonna want to drop Vital Scrapper. And I will happily take both of your offerings. Not the black bolted. You get eat projectiles.
Ooh, dungeon key. But yeah, so far on the build that I'm doing, I just like have been winging it really.
Mhm.
I picked up a axe that makes bleeds tick faster when it
Oh,
on
that's good.
hit. So I was like, I'm gonna start going into making sure I can bleed consistently. I don't know if it's been going well or not, but at the very least, it's killing things. Even though I feel like I might be the one dying very quickly if I'm not careful.
You're not careful. Dang it. That would be so good with it. Ah well. Robo Monkey's dead.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm looking at the download speed, and it's going to be probably like an hour and a half before it finishes.
Honestly, not
So-
that bad for most.
That is not bad at all.
It's just 30 gigs, but a lot of internet speeds is a lot slower than doing 30 gigs in an hour.
I'm sorry. What did that just do? Very nice. That's a
Yeah,
bit
so
of energy.
I don't know if you guys looked at the photos yet, but that is the grouping of a bunch of arrows from 50 yards away.
Well, let me take a quick look.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad.
Not bad at all. Yeah, so on the zoomed out photo, it should be the third target from the right.
Nice.
Let me just double check though, because everything's like super tiny.
I don't even think there is an archery thing over in where I live, so that's really cool.
Yeah, it took
I've never
some
actually
searching to
practiced
find an archery range. It's not bad. There's two different kinds of bows. There's the just
The
like
heck?
the kind that most people think of from like fantasy movies, just recurve bow. And then there's also the compound bow, which that's the fun one. It's basically pulleys on both ends of the bow, and they basically work together to decrease the weight that you have to hold once you get back to full draw, which is really nice. So when I have my bow completely drawn back, it's like, I think 10 or 15 pounds that I have to hold, which is really light.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, with
'Cause I actually
the
have
Yeah,
no idea.
but it actually fires with like 60 pounds of force. Yeah.
Yup. So you get the full strength behind the bow, but like you only have to really hold like a portion of the full draw weight.
Well, I think
Nice.
my dock has blurg, so I'll be back. Can't
I
hear
think
you guys
my
talking.
bow has like a, I think it's an 80% let off, so decreases the amount of weight after by 80%. Well, that is my thing.
And the cost is that it takes longer to actually draw the thing, right?
No, it's just easier to hold, really. I mean, you still have to draw it back, but it's definitely a lot more fun to shoot than recurve. There's less effort involved, but there's a lot more like parts that usually get put on compound bow. So I think I have a photo of my bow. I'll have to put it in that chat as well. But it's definitely interesting. I'm currently cooking ground turkey and the oil is spicy. Putting up a fight. The pain of spicy. I haven't heard Corey yet. I'm assuming he is AFK.
I don't.
Is audio stuff broke again? So,
Oh, it did. I didn't get enough oil in the pan, so now everything's sticking.
Unideal.
Why?
There we go, now that should actually do something. Hopefully.
You know what? I feel like doing some math. There's 600 seconds in an hour.
And
He said about an hour and a half. Where's it notepad? Notepad.
oh, you're trying to figure out his downloads rate.
Yeah, I just feel like doing that because it's like,
Why not?
why
Okay.
not? 3,600 seconds per hour. 3,600.
Yo, they
I
just tell
really
you the
wish I had
download
it.
rate.
You can tell me later after I do
Uh,
calculate and see how far I'm off.
Oh, dang it. I just
It might
moved the
take
spatula
less.
wrong and just sent a bunch of ground turkey flying off to the
No.
But I have a dog, so it does make cleanup a lot easier.
Now I just switched to this keyboard. This is a 10 keyless keyboard, and using a calculator with that or typing in numbers is a lot slower, I've noticed. I'm actually like, it's like one of those things you don't really think you actually use, and then
you find out otherwise.
I think my brother said something about to get it for it, but I can't remember off the top of my head, so whatever. So 5,400 seconds is how many total time on average? Probably not actually, but like the end it is 38.8 gigabytes? Bits? I hate Windows sometimes. Is this gigabits or is it gigabytes?
Capital or lowercase b?
Yes, it's capital B, but Windows also likes to mess with that. No, I'm trying to figure out if it's gigabytes or gigabytes. That's what I'm having an issue with.
Gigabytes.
Gigabytes is space 10.
Ah.
I'll go off of the Windows, which
So
is gigabytes.
so
So
the liars. Gigabyte.
yes.
I'm assuming the gigabytes is base 16.
Base 8.
Base 8.
Yes.
You actually get
Well,
specifically a gigabyte represents.
specifically R8. But yeah.
Yes, a byte is 8 bits, yeah, but a kilobyte is 2 to the 10 bytes, and then a megabyte is 2 to the 10 megabytes, and then a gigabyte is 2 to the 10th megabytes.
Interesting.
Yeah. In computing, it pretty much always comes down to powers of 2, because that's how computers were written. It's all in binary. Yeah, 1 or 0.
That's actually why a lot of like hard drives and stuff will always seem a bit smaller than what they say.
Yeah,
Windows.
because they use the liars gigabytes for their advertisements.
I think it might be the other way around.
Oh no, the
Windows uses
Yeah.
liars, but they use the actual, so Windows ports it as less.
no the liars is a smaller number. 2 to the 10th is 1024. Yeah,
No, that's the real one because Windows does
yeah,
1000. Oh, I guess yeah. That's actually,
yes, and so when you're advertised, hard drive has 100 gibliku, whatever that word was. What was the actual word? I've been just calling them liars gigabytes, but if it's advertised as 100 gigabytes, when actually, when of course they're using the same symbols, so you think it's gigabytes, and then that's going to be less than 100 gigabytes when Windows tells you the value in real units.
Alright, let's see how far I'm off and if I need to fix my math. What is your download speed, Ethan?
Oh, give me just a moment.